I'm Ariana. I own a Pretty Pack Dog Training, where I train pet obedience as well as service dogs. And this is Lisa. Hey guys, I'm from My Life Unleashed, and I also train service dogs, particularly psychiatric service dogs. And together we are from the Passion Dog, and we have a really special guest for you guys today. We have Jorge here, Jorge Mendiola, and he is going to talk to us about 2 litters that he's raising right now that were put into his hands, and he's been doing some really, really cool stuff with them. And all of the things that he's doing with them are really going to have a tremendous effect on these puppies when they get older and as they go to their new homes and go to formal training. Jorge and I have also, we have a personal relationship because we've known each other for about 10 years or so now. And Jorge also is helping me, I'm going to let you do most of the talking, but he's been helping me tremendously as far as AKC obedience and competitive obedience go. He's like an obedience guru. So Jorge, take it away. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your business.
Hi guys, thanks for talking me up so much. Yes, my name is Jorge and I run StanFÜR'D University here in California, and I've been training dogs for 15 years now, racing and training different breeds, Basenjis, Borzois, Wire Fox Terriers. So I like to have that challenge in training because, you know, every dog is pretty able to learn new behaviors, but I like to pick those breeds that are a little bit more challenging just to kind of learn every day with them and learn what entices them and makes them better dogs. And yes, I've come, this litter of puppies just came my way during this pandemic and quiet time that we need to be inside the house. So I volunteered to help raise them so I can give them the best future and best training foundation that they can have. Being raised by a trainer, I think, brings a lot of benefits because we see how to develop their brains, how to develop their temperaments a little bit better. And they're not just in a kennel, you know, just growing up in a kennel with a lot of sounds of like barking dogs in the background, kind of becoming anxious and only seeing people when they come to feed them, where that might make them a little bit too jumpy or too excitable with people. But these puppies are at different stages. They're one litter, it's a week older than the other. So they're learning at different rates, but they're also being exposed to the same exercises, which is part of what I like about helping out different breeders and or just shelters that have puppies at this time.
So we have a few questions for you. Can we ask away?
Of course, go ahead.
So what is the Super Dog program?
Super Dog program is a program guided towards raising the best dogs we can have. It was started with police dogs. So police dogs have a very intense job to do and have to go through all these different situations and sounds and exposure to anything that could face them in future jobs. So with the Super Dog program, we're getting these dogs used to all this stimulation and stimuli at a much younger age. So most breeders, you know, we pick a puppy with the prospect of making them a service dog or competitive obedience dog or whatever it is. But if we don't expose them to these things at a younger age, where their brains are so much more open to taking this in and overcoming these fears or however they feel at that time, then at an older age, when they're kind of set in their ways, it becomes a little bit harder, or it becomes a bigger pebble to have to jump over, you know, and get over that momentary insecurities, I guess we could call them. But yes, so the Super Dog program is geared towards puppies from age, from their 3rd day of life to the 16th day of life. So that's where most of the intense training happens. Not saying that we stop after that, but we continue doing other things. But most of the important time is from that time, 3 days to 16 days. It's when their brains are just developing at such a higher rate that we want to put as much input into them as we can to be able to handle any situation at an older age.
That's amazing. I'm really interested in some of the things that you're doing with them. Tell us about that.
We started really young, so the first couple of days, they can regulate their temperature too well, so they need their mom there. But usually after day 3, they're a little bit more mobile, and it's very interesting to see how quickly they can find their mom, their sense of scent. It's so quickly to develop because I needed to survive. But as they're younger or older, as they start getting older, I'm just seeing them play around. We started stimulating their sense of smell, their sensation to cold and hot sensations or towels, to play with their balance also, because we want to be able to put them on their backs later on to examine their feet and wipe their paws. We want them to be able to just kind of sense all this different input that they can get. So some of the things that I was doing with them as the younger puppies were to hold them on their back for 5 seconds. So everything is like a 5-second game. So it's 5 seconds on their back, and let's see who I can volunteer here.
I love how they just both come to you like, all right, let's do this.
This is Onyx, and this is Austin.
Oh, they're so cute.
Initial games that I was doing when they were puppies, they hadn't even opened their eyes yet, is first to hold them in an upright position for 5 seconds. I don't have to do the full time now, but I'll show you guys. And then on their backs for 5 seconds as well. When they're smaller, of course, a little bit easier. And then upside down for 5 seconds as well with their head down the other way. So all of this is creating that balance. They're feeling like, why can I move? How do I move my body to go in the right position? So it's sparkling those brain cells really quickly. Some other games that I was playing with them is getting a hot compress, putting it in a microwave for about 15 seconds or so. So it's warm, but not super hot. And holding them against it for about 5 seconds again, holding their bodies against it, their feet, and everywhere in their body. So their body says, I feel heat. How do I pull away from it? Or do I like it and I stay near it? So even though they cannot move away from it, they're trying to solve that puzzle. In the same way, you can also put it in the freezer for about 20 minutes or so, and then again, touch them with it. So they say, I feel cold. How do I move away from it? Do I like it? Do I not like it? So it's all these stressors, mild stressors that we can control. And just like in training, we want to be able to expose the dogs to mild stressors that we can either adjust depending on their temperaments, which helps them with training a lot. What else do we do with you guys? Tickle on their feet also. So tactile input with a little Q-tip or a soft stick. Just kind of tickle all their feet. So that makes them kind of retract their feet or they lean into it. So again, it's them problem solving as they're developing. And that was the easy part of, or the somewhat all over their body exercises, right? Then something else that I did is the olfactory stimulation. So from day 3, again, this goes with the same exercises. From day 3 to day 16, they were exposed to 5 different scents. So by day 16, they had smelled 70 different scents. And this was very easy because I love cooking. So I have different spices. So star anise, I would just open the bottle and hold it up to their nose and let them smell it without them touching it for about 5 seconds again. So we're waiting for a neutral reaction, which is them just kind of sitting there, an aversive reaction where they kind of pull away, or a positive reaction where they kind of sink into it and then kind of like keep on sniffing it. Sometimes they're actually falling asleep, so you don't see a reaction, but they're still smelling it and it's getting that input into their brains. Like he was interested and he pulled away, so that's fine. Switching to bay leaves, cumin, tarragon leaves, basil, anything you can find at the house, any scents. If you're working on nose work or have an interest in doing nose work with them, then the 5 basic scents for nose work would be great. And of course, because we all like coffee, so coffee grains as well. So they're smelling all those cool things.
Onyx likes coffee.
Anything that is not a chemical sense. So don't do it with bleach or Lysol or vinegar. Just kind of natural sense. Leather will be fine. Plastic will be fine. Everything smells different. And that's what we're trying to get them exposed to, as if they were outside, but we're not taking them outside. We're just bringing all the stimuli in a controlled setting where everything is pretty clean for that age.
All that confidence building stuff that you work on with young puppies when you get them, it's already being done. Yeah.
I think of it as they should have already seen most of the world by the time they go to their homes at 8-10 weeks, however old that is. they would have already walked on sand. I got some pebbles also, some lava rocks from Home Depot, and I put it on their plate. So they're walking over pebbles, they're walking over lava rocks, they're walking over grass, sand. So they already have walked over different textures, jumped over different things, heard different sounds, and it's all just part of their learning.
You know what I'm even thinking of? How right now we're going through this quarantine, right? Yeah. And so many questions are being asked about just like how to socialize. Like, what do I do with my dog? What do I do with my puppy? How do I socialize my service dog in training? And you're finding, I mean, obviously these puppies can't go out into you know, the huge world right now, but you're finding so much to do with them right now. And they're getting so much exposure just within being in your house. Yeah. Nice. Oh, how cool.
Around some kibble scattered, and this pool has all sorts of different dog toys.